Hi, and welcome back to Ask a Pennsylvania Dutchman. My name's Chris LaRose, and this here is Douglas Maidenford, our resident Pennsylvania Dutchman. Wie bist du?
Ich bin ziemlich gut.
Ziemlich gut. That's not bad at all.
That's right.
All right. Well, we got a question from Rick Wagner of Alaska.
I think he says Wagner.
Oh, okay, fine. Rick Wagner of Alaska says...
Alaska, wow.
That's some Dutch transplant there.
I'll say.
I just watched a video on saying the word why before a sentence and think you are right about saying it to give us time to think about how to say something right.
He thinks we're right.
It's because we are, Doug. Anyways, one thing that that was always brung to my attention in the Navy was that I often ended a sentence with the word not, such as, "It's pretty hot in the boiler, not?" Or, "We got to plan a fire drill today, not?" These were not questions but statements or orders, and that seemed to confuse people. Now when you said using the word why before a sentence makes us say not after, because we don't say that in Dutch, but we do say that in English.
Rick's referring to a video we did a while back about how it's funny when some Pennsylvania Dutch people when they speak English, they'll start a sentence with why. Why, where are we going? And we talked about that. He's right with our answer. And then he says, but what about when people say not at the end? And I've heard old Dutchies say this when they speak English in situations like he's saying, and, he's right. We don't say that in Pennsylvania Dutch. When we speak Pennsylvania Dutch, we don't say... The word for not in Pennsylvania Dutch is nicht or net. And you don't end a sentence with that. But we often end a sentence with the word gel. And gel is one of these words that I don't know how you'd ever translate it because I don't know what you would say. I think if you looked up a dictionary, I'd be curious to see what a dictionary says for gel. But when you say a statement in Pennsylvania Dutch and you put gel at the end,
It's a punctuation.
It's kind of like a punctuation. And what's really interesting is that if you travel to the part of Germany where a lot of us come from, in their dialect there, in the Palatinate and in Hessen, in these areas, they do this too. They say gel at the end of sentences. And it's not like... It's kind of tough to explain, to be honest with you. Megane hoeft die fire to know it, gell? We're going to the party tonight. Gel? Now, gel in that sense means more like right.
It's kind of like you hear.
Or right. We're going to the party, right? But it doesn't always have to be a question. And it's something unique to our language, I think. Well, maybe there's other languages that do it too, but for me in Pennsylvania Dutch, we don't do this in English. Like he said, and I think we just do this, a lot of people just did the direct translation into English. Like thinking in Pennsylvania Dutch, and then I'm going to say this in English, and I have to have a word here at the end, because I have it in Pennsylvania Dutch. And if I don't have a word here at the end, then my brain's all fahoodled, and it won't make right. So maybe that's what happened, and people were like, well, I got to have a word, and there was no translation for gel, so they just said not.
Well, I've heard people say gel at the end of English sentences.
Yeah, right. That's one of those words that transferred over for a lot of people, right? Gel, and it's such a great word. Start using gel. I love it. It's one of my favorites, actually. But, I think maybe that's my theory on why some Pennsylvania Dutch speakers, when they speak English, they put these words at the end of the sentence that don't necessarily belong there. Because there's a word in Dutch, and if they don't say something there, like their brain's thinking, this sentence has 8 words, I gotta have 8 words. And when they're saying the English, they get to the end and they only have 7. I gotta have another word. So they just said not.
Well, it's a little bit of a sing-songy language. It's go up, and then you can't just leave it hanging up there.
We are a sing-songy language.
Land it nice.
Do you think that's what it is, though? Like, in that sense, like when we talk, when we talk Pennsylvania Dutch, we do sing. We do sing when we talk.
Absolutely.
And do you think that it's cadence? Yeah, vielleicht. Maybe that's what it is.
Because I knew a girl in college that just could not say anything without saying no at the end of it.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of like not, but no. And I don't know how she...
So she said no to you a lot.
Yeah, all the time. Maybe that's why I remember it so much. But anyway, she would say...
Well, it's English speakers say like. We say like all the time.
Yeah, but this was
But
different.
this is- no, it is different. I agree.
It was
I
the
agree.
same
I
as,
agree.
as not, but hers, she seemed to use it as like a confirmation, like she'd make a statement and then no at the end.
Well, that's what he's saying here, I think, too. Like, what was his example? They're in the ship there, and he said, "We got, it's pretty hot in the boiler, not." So, looking for that confirmation, the guy next to him is going to be like, "You're darn right, it's hot down here," something like that.
Yeah,
looking
so-
for confirmation.
So the girl in school, she'd be like, "It's hot in the boiler here, no?" So that makes sense.
you know,
But I kind of like not because I like the
you really want that percussive end
Yeah.
to seal it.
because if it's hot and you're
No stays open.
no, it's
Not.
yeah,
Not
not
comes T on the end.
that's punctuation.
I want to go back to one other thing you said because I'm curious about this. You're a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So you say we are sing-songy people at Pennsylvania Dutch, and you think you've heard enough people speak Pennsylvania Dutch in your life that anytime we speak, we naturally are singing up, and at the end of a sentence we have to come back down.
Oh yeah, yep.
I never thought about that.
You're gonna start listening to your pop and your brother, and you're gonna start thinking like, oh yeah, it did go up, and bring it back down.
Yeah, but there's got to be situations where we stay up. Like, what if we're angry about something?
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's different. You can almost tell what a Dutchie's feeling without ever understanding any of the words.
Well, I think that's true about a lot of people in other languages too.
Yeah, I think so. But I really think the Dutch are a little bit more. They display it more.
I know a lot of people who have PhDs in linguistics.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to ask them this question. Why are some languages more sing-songy than others? That's interesting to me. Like, why? Like, you grew up with and spent time on the Mohawk Reservation, and you heard Mohawk being spoken. I haven't. Is that a language that's... I mean, there's a totally different language, not related at all to any European-based language. Is that sing-songy?
There was a lot of singing up there in general.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when they talk. Like, when we talk, we're not always singing either in Pennsylvania Dutch. But you say, our language is sing-songy.
I'd say yeah. But the PA Dutch are very animated. Like I'm telling you, it's something strongly more animated than a lot of other places I've been in. A lot of languages.
Do you people agree with this conversation? I'm just curious. Like, do you...
And louder, too. A lot of them were louder.
In the comment sections, please let us know if you agree that Pennsylvania Dutch is especially, I want to hear from people that don't speak the language, but grew up maybe hearing their grandparents speak it or their parents speak it, but never learned it. Because then you got the ear of an outsider in that sense. Like, do you agree with Chris that we are, we have this sing-songy quality to us that even though you might not have knew the words, you knew what they were saying or you had an idea about what they were saying? I'm really curious to hear and read what people have to say about this. It's interesting, I think.
And I think a lot of it's kind of like percussive, like beats, So, like, I think what you were saying earlier about having to end the sentence with something, like, I do that with music, where I'll start singing a line, but I get through all of the image I'm trying to portray, but I need something. I need something at the end to just be like, okay, and finish the beats. And I think the Dutch do that with Gel. Because they got so used to saying things with 8 words or 9 words.
Yeah, whatever,
or
yeah. Huh. I think that's fascinating.
Because they're certainly not putting it in there because it means anything specific.
No, you're right, yeah. Because you can say the same sentence without Gel, and it doesn't change the meaning.
Well, say a sentence with and without.
Well, the example I had earlier, McGain hoofed if I had to know it. McGain hoofed if I had to know it, Gel.
That makes me pay attention.
Having Gel at the end.
Yeah. Because I can hear what you're saying, but I just wander off. But when you say Gel, I'm like, oh, I need to answer.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay. Yak animal. All right. Please, comments down below. I find this stuff interesting.
Maybe it's kind of like Spanish, where they put the question mark in the beginning and the ending of the sentence.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like bookending the sentence.
Oh, maybe. For life. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. That could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're totally making this stuff up.
Yeah,
we don't know. I mean, we're just thinking a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cadence.
It could be. It could.
And
Yeah, it
habit.
could be. And habit. That could be. Let us know.
Who asked this question? Rick Wagner of Alaska.
Wagner.
Not okay.
Now, he's out there in Alaska, so he's probably, if he's still talking like this, I bet all those people are totally like, who's this? Who's this guy?
Well, now, what do you think other folks do? Because we've heard gel, and we've heard no, and we've heard not. But do you think there's something else out there in the country, somewhere in, like, I don't know, Utah or something that's got a very interesting...
There has to be something in the South. That,
Yeah.
or like in Louisiana or Texas. I would imagine in their English, there's got to be something like this.
And, well, I feel like it'd have to be in the places that aren't too close to a city, you know? Because a lot of this stuff, through, like, isolation, gets preserved, which is kind of why I like a lot of the smaller towns, because it's like stepping back in time. So if you're from an area, and you think you have an interesting way of speaking... Or what would you call gel and not? Is that it's not a filler word, it's a colloquial
phrase or
yeah,
word
if
or
you've got
like
one that you want to share with us, send it in an email to Doug here. We're going to try to collect a bunch of them.
that'd be cool.
And I'd like to share them. If we get like 10 or 15 of them from people and from the different areas, we could do a nice video about that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
Gel?
Gel, I verdammt, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But please let us know in the comment section your thoughts on the sing-songiness of the Pennsylvania Dutch language. I'd love to read some of that stuff.
Well, we just got to get you angry for a video. And then
Right, well then I get a little fired up.
You'll sing.
Yeah, we'll sing. Hey, send us some questions, please. Sei so gut.
All right, well, you heard it from the Dutchman. Until next time, Max gut.
If you have a question, you have to email us at busterpa@yahoo.com.